Changes
Hands
angle
from
there.
Nathan,
Nice,
big
nice
left
kick.
Here comes Jordan,
Jordy come back with those hands again.
Hey, yo, your boys are back.
Hello.
It's been a minute.
How long has it been? I feel like it's been forever.
I think it's like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Welcome back.
You're very
Welcome back to
very
the show.
handsome.
Yeah, look like I got stung by a fucking bee.
So that's it. The spoils of victory.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, I didn't even look like this like fucking 3 days ago. Like, this is the last 48 hours kind of thing.
Oh, well, at least you got to check that and it looks like nothing serious. It's just something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's worse, actually. Don't know what's going on.
It's just like sort of at present unexplained.
Yeah, fair enough then. All right. So, yeah, we're just coming off the heels of Rebellion and the Root show that happened last weekend.
Big day.
And tomorrow, Simon Sydney. So
Another big day. 2 big days.
So by the time you see this, you go, oh, you're going to do Simon? It's like, we recorded this before Simon happened.
Yes.
All right. But also, thank you for the book, Mr. Luu. So go get yourself a book from there. It's an amazing book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very nice pictures.
Beautiful work.
And it's just...
By a beautiful man.
That's it. Support Muay Thai by supporting him as well.
And our guy, William Luu, will be here in Sydney tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Maybe he's here now. I don't know. He'll definitely be here tomorrow.
Man, so busy though. He did the Rebellion show and the Roots show and then I think the MMA show as well.
Yeah, that dude doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I see his social media. I'm like, how?
Just animal.
Big respect, William Luu. We love you.
The work effort. All right, so let's go into the review of the show from there. So let's start from the bottom a bit. And it was the top of the Roots card. So from there, so we had from New South Wales, Nathan Jones Jr. from Nova Martial Arts against the returning back into the sport Indigo Boyd, Combat Kid. How did you see this match? Because I guess you were just kind of when you were waiting your turn or just waiting back at the hotel, you had a watch of it?
Yeah, I was watching this on the stream just from the hotel because we could. I wanted to go in and watch this one, but there's like a gap between the Roots card and the Rebellion card. Yeah, Nathan looked good. I thought I am a big fan of Nathan. I really like him. I think he's like one of the top up and comers at that weight in Australia at the moment. And I think this was one of those fights to me where it's just to me, Nathan's one of those kids that he's just needed his shot. It's just he's been trucking away, playing his trade up here in New South Wales. I think especially after the last 1774 when he won the WBC title, that was like a real kind of foot in the door kind of opportunity for him. That got him a run on Roots. And Indigo's an experienced guy. He's fought all the top Victorian guys. He's fought Ramesh, he's fought Riverdale, he's gone over to Japan and fought in K1. He's been around the block. So this is a strong... And it was quite a commanding points win for Nathan. Definitely was one step ahead the whole way through, landing some big kicks. Both guys walloped each other in the nuts towards the end of this one, actually.
Yeah, that's it. Combat nuts are going to get on that.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, hot tip. But yeah, I think a good showing of Nathan's kind of stylistic maturity. He was... I don't even really think he was... Oh, Indigo came back well, Indigo's quite awkward. He's got an awkward style. I think that's why it was a good test match for Nathan Jones as far as getting up to that upper echelon. Handled himself very well. Good strong kicks. He's a big kicker. He's junior and just handled himself beautifully actually.
Just took a nice points score. He took a nice points win.
Yeah.
And he, for himself, I remember he was commenting and just goes, I thought I could have done a little bit more. I guess most fighters say that.
You get that. Yeah.
But he did enough though.
Yeah, definitely, and did enough in he was never in any real trouble or anything like that, and a big step up for as far as kind of experience. Most of his fights have been on our local scene. He's been over to the the WMOs and things like that, so he's an experienced guy. But yeah, this was a good. I liked this match as far as putting. I've wanted to see Nathan Jones in there with someone of that kind of higher end experience as a good test and to kind of show everyone in the scene where he's at. So I think this is a good one to set Junior up for 2022 ready to...
Yeah, he's just cutting himself teeth in the process, and it's good progressions he's making.
Yeah. And he's got some good ones lined up for next year. early. And I think this one will, maybe, because if he wants to go back, like Indigo's a good kind of starting point for the higher end Victorian scene because he's fought all those guys. And I think Nathan Jones is like a really exciting addition to that weight class at the higher end. So I'm excited to see him keep making his way up through the pros.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
Nice one, Nathan.
Yeah, good work, mate. So let's get into the big card, the Rebellion 10-year anniversary card. Overall, awesome. Like,
so good.
No real complaints. It's. I feel sorry for Sai though, because like the pay-per-view stream dropped off. It couldn't work, but it ended up like having a YouTube stream on there.
Yeah,
which is like, it's good. But like obviously, you want the pay-per-view buyers. But it's unfortunate.
I mean, I guess like I hope really like it's kind of no one really knows like what kind of what value like the live stream kind of thing has in like a Muay Thai show. Like it's like, is anyone watching these? So like I was talking to Tom, the camera wizard, like when we got there, and like, about all the stress around the live stream, and he's like, look, like if we can pull a benefit from this is that it's like maybe it just travels and we get like new eyes on the whole card that would have been unfamiliar with it altogether, and like hopefully that happened. Like hopefully this was obviously preferentially it would have been the paid stream.
Yes.
That just, it sucks. And I look at like fair play to Sai and Rebellion for making sure it was still watchable. Like even, they could have just said live streams down, sorry. But rather than just having no viewing option, they put it up for free, which is great because a lot of people got to see this. And yeah, hopefully there was like at least, in any kind of creative work, like exposure is such like a tedious word because like when you're actually in the business, you understand that like you can't eat exposure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, but like, it is an important thing.
Exposure is just another word for volunteer work.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. And, it was a fully professional card, Roots and Rebellion. So, hopefully there's some tangible benefit moving into next year, moving forward with Rebellion to that stream going up. Like I know it got like, a lot of views, especially for a full length Muay Thai show.
It was nice.
It's down from YouTube now, like as they await kind of the individual fights to get uploaded. But I think it had like 9 or 10,000 views, which for like a 6-hour event stream is
good.
Really good.
Really
good. That's a lot of eyes. And I know like from what kind of my social media was doing after this, like a lot of people were watching this that maybe wouldn't have been watching a paid stream. And again, what benefit that actually has, you could debate. But like, I think people watch if you watch this card, like if you're not invested enough to spend money on Muay Thai, but you're interested enough to watch it, maybe that creates a paying customer next time, because the card was very entertaining. And, I know like I saw a lot of, it's kind of like there was a lot of chatter like on social media around this. You could see there was a lot of engagement. So ideally, maybe people got the chance to see this for free when they otherwise, wouldn't have really cared enough to watch it, and maybe they open their wallets next time is the most optimistic view.
Well, that's right. Like you just hopefully they go, oh, this is what it's all about. Like maybe they made more of a, instead of like, a fan of just like the fighter they know, they go, oh, I like that person fight. I'd like to see them again if I see them on another card. Yeah.
And like with the whole live stream thing, like a lot of the time it is that very like, I know fighter X and so I will buy a ticket to watch. It's that like the bridge that Muay Thai especially kind of finds it hard to cross is like just having people watch because they want to see a Muay Thai show, not because they know someone personally. But obviously when it's free, people will watch, like just to watch Muay Thai. So like that's what you kind of need, is to get that sort of exposure where if you can show people the product in full, they can decide whether it's maybe worth their money next time. And I think like a lot of people would have come out of this. Like I know a lot of people that were watching this fight, like from what I kind of heard back, it was like people that are only really like, they're just like sports fans. Like they're not people that I ever kind of see at the shows or really paying any attention, but they just got onto it because people started sending it around, posting it in a group chat, like, and hopefully that means now some of these people that it wasn't really even on their radar before and now fans, that would be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, not ideal of course, but a good good salvage mission by the Rebellion team. The show must go on.
Being very resourceful.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about the card. We'll get a couple out of the way first. So so for myself, I know from one of the fights I was really looking forward to was Somsarat versus Davina, Little Axe. The stream dropped out. It's like it was I only think a little bit through round 1, then it cut back in about halfway through round 4. So I can't really comment about the fight.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see it in full yet either.
But like Davina took the decision though. From the rounds, from the little bit I saw from there, looked very strong with the technique, more impactful in those later halves of the round than that. But like I said, it's like I didn't get the whole story of the fight, so I can't really comment too much on it.
Yeah, I didn't get to see too much either. I was there getting ready, but very, very happy with the result. A huge fan of both girls, but obviously a bit closer personally with the Muay gang. But also like it was cool to see. You know, you love to watch the fighters that you know kind of progress. And I think this was, like we talked about in the preview, a big step up for Davina, who I'm a huge fan of. I'm a big fan of the Martin sisters, actually. And yeah, to go out and, by all accounts, not just handle herself well against Somsarat, but take it to her and really just prove stronger. It's a huge win, and it's not easy. Like I think we talked about this as well. Like it is not easy to go to someone else's city when they're a bit of a favourite and get in on a big show like Rebellion and take it to them. And that's exactly what Davina had to do. Was not overawed. She was very, very calm. I was quite impressed with her whole demeanour. Like I haven't fought on the same. I have actually, but I haven't been in the same warm-up room as her before. Like the whole way through, like the whole weighing process. Yeah, she's a cool operator.
Yeah, her demeanour belies her experience.
Yeah. She really handles herself like a veteran, and yeah, just went in and did the job. I was impressed to see. It's one of those ones like when you're, I don't know, maybe other fighters can tell me if this is like the same thing. That it's like sometimes you go to a show you're in like the. Most of the time, the way to work is there'll be like the visiting corner and the home corner, almost when you go to an interstate show.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what this card was like, because it was almost 50-50, like New South Wales, ACT versus Victoria. So it had all of us in the blue corner and then all the Victorians in the red corner. And like, you want to see like it's always built up like when the other corner walks, there's a big cheer, and when your corner walks, there's nothing like it's got that atmosphere of like us versus them, and like you really want the vibe in your corner to be all of your guys. Like you become like a team, like a sports team, like especially in this, like, and that's what the energy was like back there. With the trainers and stuff like that. It was a good group of really strong New South Wales ACT gyms, and like, you know, Davina coming back really rose the energy of that room, just because because of the level of the fight and like Somsarat's skill level more than anything. It's a big win. Somsarat's excellent. She's elite level, and also she's really like kind of a favorite there. Like that was the second fight of the night. That's what I was like, all right, we're doing this.
Got up there.
Yeah.
All right, good. So let's see. Go the couple ones as well. So you also had Tim Nguyen. Yeah. From Victoria versus Paul Rogers from SRG in New South Wales here. End up being a pretty quick one in the first round. It seemed like Paul was just kind of like trying to get his like balance and footing in there a little bit, but Tim was he's just ready to go with the game plan.
Yeah, Tim came hard out the gate. He's quick. He's very quick.
Yeah, it's like I didn't think it kind of like even surprised me, but I go, oh damn, he's really backed him up and just kind of crumpled Paul.
He saw his op as well. He hit the body a couple of times, because it was the overhand that put Paul down, but like did crack him with a nice body rip and went back for it when he backed Paul up, and then just saw his shot and really went for it, pulled the trigger and hit the kill. That was only about 2 minutes in. A quick start to the night. Yeah, Tim's quite good. He's been enjoying watching him. He's got good feet. He's quick with the hands. He's a hard starter.
Definitely one on the rise.
Yeah.
Well, being steady on the rise anyway. And be interested to see where he goes or what opponents will be put in front of him next year.
Yeah, I think he's basically had his whole career on Roots. Roots and Rebellion.
It's not a bad way to do it.
Not a bad way to do it at all. Yeah, climbing the ranks, and Sai's quite invested in promoting him. So yeah, we'll get those. You know, he had Paul's a tough customer. You know, you're really bringing up those like hard matches and the right matches to kind of keep progressing him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him next.
Excellent. So from there, let's talk about a fight that I think it was like, you know, there's a lot of talk about it on online there. So we had Carter Lawrence versus Darren Chen. Darren Chen, PTJ, Carter Lawrence from there. Which gym was it again?
I think Dominance.
Dominance? Yep, that's right. Yeah, Dominance. So yeah, look, this was a pretty close one.
Good fight.
It was a good fight. Like it was a very, like, you know, Carter Lawrence is absolutely massive.
He's so fucking big.
He said like he's like big. He's like, he goes, oh, he's big compared to me as well.
He's big, yeah. Like he's thin, but he's got a big frame. Yeah, he's so fucking tall. Like,
and you can see when he fought Darren, like, you know, Darren's like trying to get the knees up. There's like really pulling up there.
He was a lot larger than Darren. Yeah, much bigger guy.
And like it's interesting the gameplay of it all. So like, you know, you see Carter there, you know, heavy on the kicks, like, you know, trying to be that little, that, you know, kind of like that lean over kind of clinching style as well. Because like it's being a bit shorter, just trying to weigh on him a little bit. It's like I found the clinching last, like, you know, like back and forth around the fight was like even-ish.
It was quite even. I thought early in the fight, Darren was maybe just struggling to navigate Carter's frame, and like Carter was, I don't know, like you said, is where he can just kind of bear his size. Like he knows how to use, he knows how to clinch like a long guy, and I just found like it was almost Carter was dropping these knees in where Darren couldn't quite reach him with the same types of knees, like these big tall round knees right up to the higher part of Darren's rib cage, and like if you're trying to like duel those round knees, like it doesn't take too much for Carter to position himself so Darren's knees can't reach the same way, especially if they were playing for that kind of upper body kind of lock, like and then that showed you kind of towards the end of the fight, Darren did start to fish for that body lock a little bit more, like go for the torso, because when they were kind of engaged up here, it just favoured Carter a lot.
It's fuck, it's hard if you're the much shorter dude.
Yeah, and then when and that was probably like what kept it very close and was difficult. Well, that was probably the hurdle Darren had to overcome, as he does quite like to clinch. So in those inside, like the entries were hard, and also like just on size and range alone probably favoured Carter a little bit more. Carter did a good job. He landed some nice high kicks as they would break from those clinches. Like he's got like that interesting tall man style where like nothing he throws looks super explosive, but you can see it lands with that just kind of
picks
like,
up momentum.
Just the leverage on it all. Like he landed some nice high kicks, and then I thought towards the back end of the fight, I haven't been able to watch this and score it, but I have rewatched it once end to end. I thought the back end of the fight, Darren really started to find a home for that right kick really nicely. Yeah,
right kick, and like he did some really good punch flurries as well Darren, in that fight. It's like when I was like first watching it from there, like this. I go, I feel like Darren Ross, but I wasn't there like, you know, I'm going to really score this fight. Yeah. You know, I'm there with a fucking couple beers deep. I'm just enjoying going, oh, this is a sick fight. And then, like, and like you can read like the YouTube comments from there, which is always, you know, most posters is a great
that's
guy.
That's the best learning resource there is in combat sports.
Because the fight ended up being, I think it was a split draw.
Split draw, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So... And then the next day I go, I'm going to watch this and I'm going to just properly score it like the best of my knowledge. And it's also just a good learning tool to do as well from that one. I ended up Darren winning by 1 round. And there was a lot of rounds where literally it was only separated by a couple strikes.
It was close.
It was super close from that one. But that's how I scored it from there. But like, but if you thought different from that one, like, you know, always comment or let us know.
I haven't had the chance to score it yet.
But like it's just like, you know, I think it's a pretty good like one for learning.
Yeah,
score, like, you know, just take a bit of imagery on your scoring.
I think as well, like this is kind of one of those fights where like it gets really hard to score because it's just like there's lots of exchanges where there's kind of a case for either guy to be in control. It really just depends. You've really got to break down, you know, who was landing with more power, who was more on target. Like it becomes a little bit subjective. It was a tough one, but a good fight. I think there's some chatter of the two doing it again.
Do it again. Why not? You know,
sense. Yeah.
if Carter can keep in the weight division, like that boy looked like he's still growing.
Well, I think as well, Carter looks a bit fuller than before the lockdown.
Yeah.
He looks like he's kind of filled out a little bit. So it will be interesting to see if he stays.
Hey, look, he doesn't look out of place if he went to 69.
Bro could go up to fucking heavyweight.
Is it got another George Mann case happening? Yeah.
Just eat like a lot, man. Do whatever you want.
And then probably as well, like, you know, that's why maybe the latest search for Darren might have been, like, you know, helped a little bit as well off of Carter. Maybe feeling the card a bit.
Yeah, could have been.
But there's a high, like in terms of the pace as well, the pace was pretty decent throughout the whole fight.
High pace fight. And Darren adjusted very nicely. I thought he finished stronger, probably. I think that's pretty fair to say.
True.
And as far as who pulled away more as the fight progressed, I think he'd lean Darren's way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an awkward customer to deal with. Very skillful as well, not to say.
I liked watching him.
Carter is good to watch. Smart guy with a lot of frame and just a tall order.
Yeah, it's a handful.
Yeah.
Against anyone.
Yeah, a good fight though. Good. Like we said, it's good to see. I think Carter's one of those dudes as well who's really been promoted through the whole Roots Rebellion system. It's cool to see these guys that we know to be top Australian.
Yep. Awesome.
But so you reckon anyone gambled on a draw?
Who gambles on a draw?
Actually, I don't even know if that was an option.
Yeah.
I don't think that was an option.
Does it make all the voids bad?
Yeah, I think it voids you bet. I don't think most like the big fights have like the option to bet on a draw. So
Okay.
I didn't see that on this.
That's one. Nah, let's get fucked through it. All right, let's go from there. Hugh O'Donnell.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Did I forget to Darren?
I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna go. Yeah. Because I remember all the other fights were like after you.
Okay.
Yeah. So from there, versus Cory Dean, and man, I think easily fight of the night. That one, that's just not me being biased. I'm just saying, like, in terms of how the fight swung in in both directions from there, like, it was just really exciting. So
Fucking hope so.
Yeah.
I hope you liked it.
How was the actual feeling, like, as the rounds were progressing through?
I loved it, eh? Like, I loved this fight. Like, I don't know. There's a lot I liked about this. I mean, this fight, I don't know, maybe I invited this, or like we talked, like time anyone talked about this fight, like including me,
Yep.
It was like, it's just going to be a fucking war. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, and yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
And like, I don't know, like, obviously to me, maybe not to the listeners, this was like a lot changed for me in the lead up to this fight. This was for me a whole new corner team that I hadn't worked with before. So there's always that little bit of like, I guess nerves, like, and like people would ask me before, like when I was at the venue, people have a great habit of doing that. Oh, what's it going to be like having a new corner for the first time? And I was like, shit, I didn't even really.
You know what that's like? You don't ask questions before a fight.
Yeah, just say good luck.
Hey, did you think about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Hindsight, sure, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like, it was just like a very natural fit.
Yep.
Like I never felt like I was doing anything, and like I had an all-star corner team. I had Aram, I had Michael Green, and I had Kieran Walsh. So like, can't really ask for much more than that. But they also the three of them are not just really knowledgeable, which they are. They're also very good at being a corner. So it's not like sometimes you be like, you can have the three smartest dudes in the world in your corner, but if they're all shouting at you, like that's as good as having no one in your corner. So it's like they all
knew their roles.
They played their role, but it's also, there's like a good corner there's two things. There's the actual tactical advice, but there's also like everyone just knowing what to do. Like this was a hard fight. There was cuts everywhere. Like there was a lot to tend to keep the fight moving, and like everyone kind of knowing that. It's a good, as a pro fighter, you can't have a corner that can't do this shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's good to just know that it's getting worked on, you know, my legs getting some ice and a massage, and the cuts are getting tended to correctly. And this and that. So yeah, it was a very natural fit. And as you can, I mean, I guess we'll play through the fight, probably talking out of order a little bit, but you can see, like, I think when, like, we've talked about a lot in many examples in high level combat sports of, like, when a fighter moves camp and they have a whole new arrangement and they're trying to do things really differently, you generally do not see the finished product in the first fight out. I definitely do feel that was the case here, which I think is a really promising sign, because I think I showed heaps of improvement. And I also don't really think, like, the idea of, like, breaking habits in combat sports is really, really difficult. Like, I think people on the outside don't always really understand that, like, like, when you've had X number of experience can actually be detrimental to development in some ways. And what I mean by that is, like, it's a lot harder to unlearn something than it is to learn something. So this was my first prep full time with Aram, who I've been training with for a long time, in part, but this was the first time he had fully kind of taken the reins. And, like, we had a discussion before this fight, like in the lead up, like, all right, if I'm running the show now, like, we've really got, so before, like, he was a big part of my training and it helped me develop a lot, but he was conscious of the fact that he wasn't the only person I was training with. So he would kind of just work me rather than try to change too much, because he was conscious of not getting information from multiple places. And then when the decision was made to train with him full time, it was like, all right, we've got to fucking fix you then. And it was like, and it was a lot of things, like it was very humbling and frustrating and required a lot of patience from him to be like, all right, look, you're not bad, you're okay, thank you, but, like, you got to understand, you don't know how to do a lot of things. Like, you do them, but you don't know how. Like, and that's, like, I think if you don't fight, you don't always understand, like, you can make shitty things work. Like, if you just, you know, there are intangible things, like just sort of having some timing and developing some IQ. And then there's just kind of, like, you know, you round peg in a square hole, just make it happen. And that there was a lot of elements of that to my style. So, like, we spent a lot of time just being like, I'm going to teach you how to stand, and I'm going to teach you how to throw a kick, and I'm going to teach you how to move. And there's all these things, like, and we would have these very frustrating conversations where he would just be like, do you not know this? And I was like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, I just kind of do it. And then, so that was like, there was a lot of nerves associated with, like, what's it going to look like when I get in there? Like, am I going to be able to do it? Because, like, as we say, when you generally watch someone fight first time out, you, at the very best, you'll see signs of what they've worked on. But you can do all the practice in the world in the gym. You still need the experience of hammering it in actual competition. You don't get that much opportunity to do that. Not really for that reason. Like, I don't think that's why I was, but, like, before this fight, I was so fucking nervous. Like, really, like, I don't know. It's a couple of things. Like, I didn't feel, I've had a lot of fights where I have just not enjoyed the whole experience, which is like, I don't know, everyone's different. It probably shouldn't be the case. Like, you know, I've had, like, big wins where I hated the whole process. I didn't want to be there. I didn't, like, when I was in the back, I just wanted to go home. In between rounds, I just didn't want the fight to be on anymore. Just for, like, different reasons. I enjoyed the whole process. Fighting in Rebellion was a really big deal for me. I'm just a huge fan of Rebellion. And when they played that sick 10-year video at the beginning, like, I just went and stood in the crowd for it. Yeah. Like, just because I wanted to, like, whoa, we're here. Like,
absorb it all.
Yeah, and kind of take it in that sense. And it's just, like, crazy in a way when, like, you know, we went to, like we talked about, like, we went to Rebellion Sydney when, like, I was a fresh as amateur. Like, I'd had, like, 3 amateur fights, I think. Like, I still wore headgear. And Cory was the main event of that show. And, like, we went home with kind of the other guys that I fought with that day. Like, yeah, I can't wait till we're all on Rebellion. And then, you know, it ended up being, what was that? 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. And then we're here with Cory on the other side of the ring. There's just like this feeling of like, oh fuck, like we're here now. But like that didn't make me nervous as such. But before the fight, I just think maybe just the amount of, I had a lot of pressure on myself with the change and stuff like that I was like, fuck, I really don't want to go out there and like, you decide to move gyms and stuff, and then you go and get fucked up. It's probably not going to like, it's not going to feel very good. It's not going to be like a great way to kick off. And then there was a couple of things like I did, for better or worse, like kind of just take it in for a couple of rounds. I don't know. And it wasn't like, I'm not like, I took some damage in the early going of this fight. Like Cory's kicking the fuck out of my leg. Like I'm not saying I did that on purpose, but I wasn't planning on starting super hard. Like I was planning on just going in and relaxing a little bit and just having a look. And that was like, we had like a fairly defined plan. There's a lot about elbowing.
Yeah, as you can see.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I think maybe where it got dangerous is like, I've never been good at starting slow. Like I've never ever been good at it. Like I've tried to do it and not done it. Like even look at my last fight with Jamie. Like I just practically fucking sprinted out of my corner. It's just like, I don't know, maybe it's a lack of maturity. Maybe I get overexcited. I like to put on good fights. So maybe I'm impatient. I don't know exactly what it is, but I struggle to start slow. And I think I was being very like, this time I'm doing it differently. Like, and that's why I was stopping myself from doing things. I was like, just relax. Just keep him. It's okay. And then like, that's the other thing, like people, I talked to, Trevor refereed the fight and I chatted to him after and he said, I fucking hated that. And he said like, cause I was getting ready to stop the fight. Like after, not getting ready to stop the fight, but I was starting to stand closer, like making sure, I had in my head that I needed to be close to this, which was interesting to me because like, I don't know, maybe I'm like, I never felt like I was having fun.
It didn't see to me, like I was seeing the guys like, oh, I don't like this. But like, it never came to the point where I thought, where I was go, oh, he's going to get stopped with leg kicks here. Because it's like you didn't kind of show the, like, like you're changing stance or like hobbling around. And then plus knowing that I was going to go, hey, he's just stubborn as fuck. He was going to go let down.
It was like as well, a lot of people said to me after, like, fuck, I thought like even like in the my corner, we're like, I thought you were going to get stopped with leg kicks. And that to me, I was like, what? Because I never felt like my leg hurt that much. Like it
looked pretty barbecued.
Yeah, but like I go red really easy. Like I just it doesn't take heaps. Because it doesn't hurt now either. It didn't bruise up a lot.
No.
But yeah, I've seen clips of it back. I understand why. Yep. But it's weird, like your own perception versus what's actually going on. Because I never felt like I knew I was getting kicked in the leg, but I never felt like they were a big factor in the fight.
It didn't change your demeanor.
No, I was like, and it was like, this was probably, I could have got going a little bit quicker, but I think from a composure standpoint, I was like in the past, I've given too much weight to what happens in round one.
Yep.
And that was a big thing. Maybe this was all part of the development. In that this was a big thing that Aaron and I had spoken about. And in his trying to like redo my game is he was like, come out and just, I don't care what happens in round one. I don't care. Like you got to defend smart and not get hurt, but don't worry about, you've got to test things. That's like what he's been working with me a lot. And he's like we would do little drills and stuff. We'd be like, here's what I want you to do in round one. And like I'll be teeping in, like he was getting me used to like, okay, teep, kick, move around and just, he catches you, sweeps you. Get up, whatever, get going and just let that all sort of register. Whereas like, it's the same thing with my thing about not being able to start slow is like, I'm straight away, foot on the gas. And that's, you're not thinking when you're doing that. There's a place for fighting like that, especially depending on the style match and stuff like that. But that's why like, I never, it's interesting. Like I never felt like I don't know that I was, the fight was getting out of reach. Like to me, when this fight ended, I didn't feel like I had like come from behind where like everyone else did. Like I guess like in a scoring sense I did, but it's just perception is like I was definitely, I mean it's easy to say this, I was looking at what I wanted to do. Like to me in a lot of ways like the fight started 3, 4, 5. Like, because I do remember being in the corner round 2 and kind of the thought I had to myself was like, okay, now we got to get going. Like, put it together now. And I knew what to do, like, from that. Like, the corner advice was excellent, as you can kind of see. Like, we adjusted very well, I think. And yeah, I knew what to do coming out of round 3. But like, it's the other thing is, like, Cory is, like, exceptionally aggressive. Like, he's just fucking unreal. Like, his pressure and, like, the power that he throws it early, and it's like, you do have to be, look, he's probably going to hit you a bit. Probably. You know, like, just because he's just got that kind of resolve. And you've got to look at what's going to fit, I think. And that was kind of where my head was at. And then I started to get going with, I saw some openings for those elbows as he would sort of come in and kind of starting to change the levels and get to his body and disrupt his forward pressure a little bit, teep him, take his gas away a little bit. We're teeping a lot in the early rounds as well, but just really starting to kind of control the ring a little bit from there. And kind of even the game up with a couple of cuts in the third and just work from there. Some counter knees and stuff like that. But Cory did, I guess, surprise me in the. I think the thing, not surprise me as such. He definitely early in the fight was trying to play a little bit more of a counter game, which it wasn't really something I had expected from him. Like, he was sliding back to the ropes, and I had to be conscious of not getting goaded into following him because he was starting to play the counter. And to be honest, a lot of the game planning was around like a kind of forward charging sort of fighter. So he flipped the script on me a little bit there. There's something to adjust to. He cut me first also on the top of my head. It's funny though, like, I don't know, the weird things you think to yourself when you're in a fight. Like, I was in there and then I felt like the blood coming out of my hair. And I was like, all right, like, he got that round. That's fine. He's probably head, it's whatever. But I was like, make sure, like, you came all this way, make sure you cut him too. Yep. Like, that was a thought that I had to myself, is like, at the very least, obviously I'm going to try to take the rounds back. But I'm like, at the very least that we'll accept here is, like, he's got to be cut as well. And then, like, just started coming with that straight elbow.
It worked really well.
Quite early in the round. And then, like, we just started going back and forth, elbow for elbow.
That's it. What a war it was.
Yeah, it was good. And, like, Cory was, like, such a sick dude to fight. Like, because he's just, it's like we said before, I'm a big fan of Cory's. Like, I almost think he's, like, underappreciated for his career. Like, he had some massive wins. Yeah. You know, like the likes of...
But isn't, like, heralded.
Yeah, not as much as some of the guys even that, he competed against and some of the guys he beat. Like, we saw that spectacular win over Nathan Robson. He went over to WA and beat Tyler Hardcastle. And, like, he's got a very impressive resume, but he's also just, like... He's got that, like, he fights like a complete psychopath, but he's, laughing and touching gloves with you in between. Like, he's just, like, got that switch.
Enjoying the moments.
I like fighting dudes who have nice styles, for one, but also I like to fight the dudes that just love to fight. Like, and I think that's what, like, we were having fun. Like, we were talking to each other. We were like, I think that's why the fight was entertaining.
Yeah, I think there's a few times when you land an elbow and you go, yep, good one. Yep.
Yeah, like, I cut him and he cuts me, but, like, it's like I also said before, we're kind of similar in a lot of ways. Like, just both lunatics maybe, but, like, we are, like, that was, we would... exchange elbows and have a chat. But, like, we're fighting, like, ripping shreds off each other, but there was never any, I don't know, like, bravado to it. Like, the sportsmanship never kind of stops. And I like that. I think that's Muay Thai in a lot of ways. And, I have a lot of time for the Cowboy. He was so cool after the fight. He told me, like, right before the start of the 5th round that he was going to retire.
Oh, he just goes, I'm retiring after this round.
Well, that's what, like, because he went to the doctor, and you know how I am when the doctors get involved.
Yeah, so
we were both like, let's go, give us the round, because we both can't do shit anyway. We're both probably going to, like, my thought was both probably going to the hospital. So, like, let's just do it. Like, just give us 3 more minutes, and then maybe I'm getting my timelines mixed up because we went to kind of touch gloves before, because this was at the very start of the 5th round, so we hadn't done the end round glove touch, and we're probably 2-2 here as well.
Yes.
So he was like, this is it for me. Like, let's do it. Let's put on a really good one. And I was like, yeah, let's fucking do that.
Just do the old Max Holloway versus right here. Here's a stand.
And like it was, he was a handful through the whole, like, he's just dangerous all the time. Like, because he almost snuck it back as well at the very end of the fifth. That's when he did this one. Landed one really good one in like the last 20 seconds. So just a crazy fight. And like his sportsmanship afterwards was like, it was exemplary. Like, I want to behave like that after a fight, like the amount of respect shown and stuff like that, especially after, like, he didn't really, like, that's, to me, like, when you are on your show in your town and it's your retirement fight, like, regardless, that's your moment, but he didn't want to, like, he picked me up after and stuff like that.
Well, when the decision was getting read, he was pointing to you.
Yeah, I find that really, like, I think sometimes you need dudes to, like, remind you how it's done, because I think that's it. And after the fight as well, he went and got me ice straight away. We were getting stitched up together, and like, it was so cool. Like, I know Owen from Warriors of Moncon, our boy, was there doing some videos, and I don't know what he managed to get, but we were just having these really detailed, like, tactics chat after, like, you did this, and like, it's just like that level of transparency. It's useful for everyone, because we talk about, when you did this, what were you? We were both super open with each other, but this is what my plan was, and this is how you dealt with it. And he's like, yeah, when you started to do this, I wasn't sure what to do, and like things like that. That's like, it's gold, that kind of conversation, for two guys that just fought to fight at that kind of tempo.
And the days, man, we're just humans.
Yeah, it was really fun fight. Like, the whole process of this, like, because it's like, it was cool as well. Like, when we got into the ring, like, I don't know, maybe I looked nervous. I'm not really sure. But when we were in the corner, like, I got like my last little bit of water, and like when they were taking the Monken off, and I was like, hey, look around. It's just a big party. And I was like, yeah, it kind of is. Like, it's like important to think about sometimes.
But like I said before, that I think that fight was definitely fight of the night. It's just like, because just two boys got in there like warriors and just let it all hang out.
Yeah, I was really happy for that experience. Hopefully that means I can come back to Rebellion again.
Definitely. And also congrats on the stellar career, Cowboy.
Legend Cowboy.
And enjoy the retirement.
I think Cowboy Muaythai will be and look, he's just like, he's a different breed, eh? Like, he had 3 guys on the amateur show the next day.
Wow.
Pads on, cornering. Like, so I think, like, he's very knowledgeable about Muay Thai. He's very smart. Like, in ring, his IQ is really good. He can fight a lot of different ways. I think that shows, because everyone knows him as, like, the walk forward Muay Thai fighter, but he's tricky. Like, he's really smart. So I think he will be a great trainer. I think you'll start to see more and more Cowboy Muay Thai. I think for opening a gym, I think stepping away from the ring to train people full time is the smart way to do it. I think he's made a good call there, and I'm excited to see what the Cowboy team can do.
All right. So let's go like on the second. Already covered those fights. So 3 more fights to go from that one. Let's go quickly here. Can't remember the order of it. I'll just go with this one. So we had Mart.
Yeah, I didn't get to see this, unfortunately. I
saw a little bit of it.
He's strong, hey.
Fun. Built like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
But like it's very like, very the dismissive style. Like Van's throwing kicks in, he's just sweeping him all the time. Just like, and like, he took it pretty comfortably. He like Van like always brings the heat. Good kicking style.
And Van will fight anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't give a fuck. And it's good way to do it, especially like his weight class as well. It's like, man, it's like you just kind of get thrown in there.
Yeah, I rate that a lot. I'm a fan of Van's. Unfortunately, like, I can't offer too much on this fight as the one before me, I'm pretty sure. So I didn't get to see heaps. But yeah, I respect the way Van fights. Everyone steps up a lot.
Well, it's one of those ones where like he's taken a couple of tough, like really high level fights from there, and like only get better from it. It's like, it just kind of makes you level up. Like you said, it's just, you get that in-ring experience as well.
I mean, I always think fuck your record. Like, don't worry about your record. Take the biggest challenges.
No one's getting big enough paydays.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, and of course you've got to take smart matches. Like, that's to be said. Like, I think sometimes this idea is misconstrued, like as throw your guys into fights they have no business being. Like, that's not it. But I mean, like, he's well placed in these fights that he's in. He gives it a good go.
Yep.
He'll come out the other side a better fighter. Yeah, take the challenge. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and this is the first time as well I've seen Mart fight. Like, I didn't know anything about him before coming this, and he looked good. He looked, and it looked like, he actually wanted to be in there and put like a bit of a showcase on it.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Like, I guess you saw him in the flesh.
Yeah.
So there's like,
I want whatever he's on. I want that recipe.
Good love.
Yeah. I want to eat whatever he's eating, yeah.
So we had that one. And then going into Gen versus Ibi. Now, there was a lot of controversy on this one.
Yeah.
So this is Gen, also another dude retiring as well.
Yeah. More of a planned retirement.
Yeah, this one. Is the new coming up.
Yeah.
And then and Ibi coming through as well. Like, same thing, just stepping up to a legend again as well. And I thought Ibi looked awesome.
I thought he looked good too. I think Ibi is a guy, like, I'm a very, very big fan of Ibi's. I've fought on the same show as him a bunch of times in a row. I'm just a big fan of him, like, as a fighter and as a bloke as well. And like, I was chatting to him in the lead up, like the day before this fight. I was very impressed. I'm very impressed with Ibi's confidence. Like, I really like the way he carries himself, and I think it lends itself to performing well. We were talking, I won't get into like the finer points of what he said game plan wise. Maybe it's a secret, I don't know. But like, I was listening and I was like, it was like bold, I guess, like the detail, and he was there to win a strategic fight. You know what I mean? Like, you hear a lot of people, like, you're like, all right, you're fighting a Thai with 200 fights. What are you going to do? And it's this same bullshit, like, I'm going to push the pace. It's like, all right, whatever. Like, and like, you hear the same old story a million times, but that wasn't the case from Ibi. He had a plan, and he had a plan that wasn't like, I'm going to be fitter. It was like, here's how I'm going to win. And I was impressed by that from the very beginning. And I think that showed in the fight. Like, and he wasn't just trying to walk Jen down. He was playing the game with Jen.
Well, it's what I noticed a lot. I felt that Ibi was trying to pull Gen out of his game.
Yeah,
he was like calling his scores. He was taunting him a little bit, and you can see Gen was just going, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
and he actually was Gen that was like stalking Ibi.
Yeah, you got to have some nuts to do that as well, because like a lot of that will unravel pretty quickly against a guy against experience a lot of the time.
They get that serious face on.
Yeah. So that was very interesting to watch right from the start. And I thought Ibi did really well. I thought it was a bit of a coming out show.
Oh, it's like, I think he really leveled up for this one.
He did, yeah. I think that's what I also really like about Ibi when I watch him fight, is I do always feel like he rises. Like, he's the type of dude that steps up. He rises to the occasion. Like, a difficult opponent makes him fight better. I've seen him have, I've been really impressed with, a few of his recent performances. I think he's really, really one to watch at that weight. But I don't know about this score. I've got to be...
Yeah, I haven't gone back and scored it from there, but
I only watched it live, but...
I felt pretty comfortable. Like, when I was watching it, I go, this is pretty, pretty in the bag, but Gen pulled the win.
Yeah, I think most people felt the same way, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I missed something. I only watched it right after my fight. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a bit of
a tricky one. I mean, and I felt for Ibi in this whole situation, because we talk about going to fight someone in their home. Mate, Gen's not originally from Melbourne. But you go to talk, he's, a trainer at Morocco, has a lot of fans in that area. You've got to go and take it to him in what has been pre-announced as his retirement fight.
Yeah.
That's already difficult, because you're not the good guy in this story.
No.
You know what I mean? And then, Gen didn't quite make weight. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I think, but it was also like, you know, he wasn't big. He just was like,
Yes, I'm not cutting.
yeah, whoops. Like, you know, like he's not.
Oh, well.
But then, like, so you got like, Ibi kind of gets down. It's already kind of feels a little bit unfair. Like, it's a difficult situation, like, because people kind of like, you know, oh, he's not big. He's just, you know.
Yeah. But still, though, it's like when the contracted weight.
Yeah, you know, so you already kind of feel like, I mean, he didn't complain or anything, but you can sense that a little bit, and then it's hard not to feel like you get the raw end in when there's that much storyline around it, and then the decision doesn't go the right way. But what I said to him after was like, everyone who's watching knows what they saw. Like, you don't have to, like we talk about fuck your record. Like, if anything, like, it generates like more chatter when you kind of get gypped, because more people go and watch the fight, and like they can just make up their own minds.
Yeah, that's definitely it. It's like it fucking sucks at the time, because especially
it sucks. It sucks.
When you you know, it's like an Ibi kind of knew as well. I guess I did good work there. Of course, I got that fucking fight from that, and just. But then, like, you know, afterwards, once you kind of cool off from the end of the day, they just go, yeah, fuck it. It's like, no one cares about the record. I got a good experience. It's a good fight.
Yeah, and you get like as well. Like I talked to Ibi right after, and like there was some emotion and stuff in the change room. But then, like, once he kind of, we were talking, he says, look, sometimes you're the one who wins the bad decision. And that's true too. That's important to remember, you know what I mean? And
goes both ways.
Yeah, he said that. I thought that I was impressed by the maturity there. Yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of Ibi's. I've very much enjoyed, like, one of my favourite things about being involved in Muay Thai is like the way you get to watch the people around you kind of come up, and I think he's one to watch in a good weight class.
Yeah,
good weight class, you know.
It's like, no gimmies.
Yeah,
weight class there.
maybe.
Like all right, so let's go into the main event now. So we had Joanna La versus Marina Verissimo from that one, and Joanna La took the win. That one, pretty convincing win as well.
Yeah,
from that one, like I guess like what Mariana's game plan was to put like a bit of pressure on. Because like Joanna La likes to move a little bit unconventional and
quite unconventional. Yeah, likes a superwoman punch.
Like 4 in a row, Superwoman.
Is it called a Superwoman? Like, you know, is it
appropriate pronouns? Did you ask her if she
super punch?
Super punch.
Yeah, likes that Superman punch and spins around a little bit. She got like fundamentally Thai style, just with like few special attacks. Yes,
you gotta take it out of the norm sometimes.
Yeah, and she's very athletic with it. I think Marina's style is very, like, she's just got such a motor. Like, she's just unstoppable on the pressure. And I think, like, Joanne's style was very much about disrupting, like those, never kind of letting herself get backed up a lot, and kind of kept constantly keeping Marina thinking without running her onto things, and just being a little bit quicker off the mark.
Yeah, it was just hard to pin down.
Yeah,
the right hand
slippery
was like a major factor in this fight
good
as well.
Yeah,
good timing on that one. Mariana, huge heart. Like,
massive heart. Yeah,
5 rounds of it.
Yeah, she's really impressive to watch, Marina, and I do still think, like, Marina's one of those fighters that she fights in a kind of division where it really doesn't, if you want to do it in an extended way, like, there's going to be no long build up. Like, Marina's been fighting the top girls in Australia for pretty much since she started. Like, she's fought them all. Like, she's stepped up in experience many times. She's fought Joanne Line now. She's fought Kim Townsend. She's fought Spring CR. Like, she's fought Davina Martin, of course, earlier this year. Like, she only fights top girls. Because there is no one else. Like, once you get beyond a certain level, and steps up every time, and you can see fights with heart in the fights she is willing to put herself in, and fights with a lot of heart in practice as well. I'm a big Marina fan.
Yeah.
Of course, a big Joanne fan too. I just know Marina more close.
Well, that's right. And like, the division's good, and like, you know, the same thing again. Like, girls will probably no doubt meet again, and might go differently. Yeah,
it was good to see this fight, the main event too. I think it was the most appropriate fight given the 10 years and stuff like that. Good fight to position Joanne for, you know, whatever comes next. I'm not sure she's got any matches lined up or what?
Well, this is also like, especially like I think her and Samara Surat was saying was like, yeah, it's been a long layoff as well.
A long layoff, yeah. It's good to see. Good to see everyone kind of back in there and hopefully, a normal 2022. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of fights all over Australia for Joanne Live. To pursue them. I'm not sure. Like, there's a lot of names you come out with for her to fight. I'm excited to see. It's just good to see, like, it's a good talking point coming to the back end of the year as we start to open things up for next year. Kind of get a little bit, see who's still around and start to shuffle cards around,
That's exactly right. Hopefully we can get to a regular scheduling on our end of things, like from there. That concludes our Rebellion review. A++.
Yeah, really good. Really good. And it's just like, it's a really, really good show. Like, I mean, like, not that anyone doubts it, but like the whole production, both times I've been to Melbourne.
From back end.
Yeah, all the way through. And it's just, I really think like there are certain things that make a great show that what really makes it great is what you don't notice, if that makes sense. It's just the way that things just kind of happen. And it's easy to ignore how much like kind of administrative and back end work there is to just make sure that, your gloves are brought to you. You've got everything you need is right there. It feels like magic, like you're lined up and ready to go at the perfect time. Like, is that like when you don't notice any of the processes involved in making all these things happen, that means the processes are really good. It almost feels like luck, but it's actually like people running around like headless chooks to make sure these things happen. So, yeah, it was like an awesome show.
Awesome. Nice. And I think that should be able to do it because there's nothing really much else to talk about. Sign the Sydneys on tomorrow. And that one, this will come out after that's been on.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Of course you did. It was an awesome show. All right. And other than that, so, just remember to like, subscribe when you listen to this episode as always. From there, share the love. And we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Peace.